Morbius trends, mostly because everyone thinks it's going to suck. Now that the marketing for Morbius is ramping up ahead of the film's April 1st release, the increased publicity is something of a double-edged sword, since many are speculating the movie might turn out to be a dud. The film centers around a world-renowned blood disease expert who accidentally transforms himself into a vampire following an experimental treatment of his own terminal illness. So while we expect Morbius to be doing a lot of sucking, hopefully it will remain solely the method by which he consumes human blood, and not the movie itself doing so, like yet another soulless franchise flick that serves as a thinly veiled excuse for Sony to retain the intellectual property rights of certain comic book characters. The official Morbius Twitter account dropped 2 videos in promotion of the movie Monday morning, so a good percent of the title's trending status could be due to genuine hype. In one tweet, lead star Jared Leto teases in a featurette, "The multiverse has officially opened." It's important to contextualize this movie release cycle. There are some rumors swirling that so far, early critical response to the film is negative. Despite Morbius having already premiered at the Plaza Carso in Mexico City on March 10, ahead of its official release to the general public in theaters, the film does not currently have any reviews on review aggregate site Rotten Tomatoes as of press time. According to GWW editor Brendan Matthews, some critics have already seen the film, but can't give official reviews yet due to an embargo. However, he claims he's heard from several journalists who saw it and said it's boring and calculated, inconsistent, and bad. That's far from an official confirmation of Morbius' lack of quality, but it doesn't bode well for would-be fans, either. "I am still going to see this movie, but not in theaters," one Twitter user wrote. Even if Morbius isn't a critical success, there may be a chance it will resonate well with audiences and do well at the box office, regardless. The previous Sony Spider-Man universe films, 2018 Venom and its sequel last year, are both plagued with rotten critical scores on Rotten Tomatoes, but both their audience scores are above 80% as of press time. Both films were box office hits, too. However, Sony could be pushing their luck if they keep releasing critically underperforming superhero films in a movie market oversaturated with such material. Morbius comes to theaters April 1st. Obi-Wan Kenobi rap gift hints at another iconic character's comeback. Though we won't be seeing Darth Maul in the incoming Disney Plus show, Obi-Wan Kenobi won't exactly be short of returning iconic characters from the wider Star Wars galaxy. Alongside Ewan McGregor's Jedi Knight, the event miniseries will feature Darth Vader, Hayden Christensen, his young son, Luke Skywalker, Grant Philly, and Luke's and Owen, Joel Edgerton, and Aunt Beryl, Bonnie Peace. What's more, another member of the Skywalker clan may just turn up, too. Assuming this rap gift is genuine, it marks the first official confirmation that Blair is part of the series cast. Rumors swirled last year that she had been hired to portray a young Leia Organa. While this item doesn't indicate anything about who she's playing, it does suggest those reports were onto something. If they were right about her being in Obi-Wan, then they may well be correct about the role she's occupying. And with Kenobi confirmed to travel off Tatooine, it's totally possible that he may run into the Alderaanian princess, who would be 10 years old at this point in the timeline. While fans have often pitched Millie Bobby Brown as the perfect candidate to play a young Leia, the Stranger Things star would be too old to portray her at this age. In Brown's absence, Blair would be or possibly is a great choice, having proven her talent in the likes of Bird Box and We Can Be Heroes. Obi-Wan Kenobi reveals its secrets when it premieres on Disney Plus this May 25th. Oscar Isaac reveals Marvel were confused by his Moon Knight performance. Moon Knight's Oscar Isaac says Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige didn't quite understand his performance at first. The role is a tall order, as the actor will have to portray different identities, and it took some convincing to win the Marvel boss over. In an interview with Radio Times, Isaac described the bold choices he made with the British accent. It wasn't necessarily written that way at all. And so I thought, okay, well, let me see what Kevin Feige says about this. And so I had a meeting with Kevin. I said, this is how I'd want to do it. And he said, yeah, okay, go for it. And it's funny, because afterwards he told me they didn't know what the hell I was doing. And they weren't sure it was going to work at all. But you know, in the end, I'm glad we did that, because everyone says it kind of makes the show. It took a lot of figuring out if this was the right thing, and to take that risk. But part of that was also getting the people that I was going to trust. And what was amazing about Kevin and everyone at Marvel is that there was a lot of faith and a lot of trust in my opinions about it, and my feelings about it. Some fans had concerns when they first heard Isaac's British accent in the Moon Knight trailer, not knowing if this was done on purpose or a miscalculation. Both the director, Mohammed Diab, and Isaac himself have stated that the accent work was actually by design. When he's portraying Stephen Grant, the mild-mannered gift shop employee, Isaac's version of a British accent is a deliberate choice. The character suffers from dissociative identity disorder, and this could be Grant's perception of his origin, rather than an authentic representation of a true Brit. It's a bold take, but Isaac doesn't necessarily shy away from taking chances. He's had major roles in some of the biggest franchises, including multiple movies in the Star Wars universe, and Dune. He's also taken on smaller, personal stories like The Card Counter and Inside Llewyn Davis, showing just how wide his range is. In Moon Knight, he brings his methodical approach into the mainstream superhero spectrum. Excitement for the MCU series has been growing the closer the date gets, and early reviews have been overwhelmingly positive. It marks a departure from the standard MCU fare, as it goes into darker territory. Feige has said that it will be more brutal, and push the boundaries of what they've done on screen thus far. Moon Knight premieres on Disney Plus on March 30. Halo EP says you shouldn't compare the game Master Chief to the TV version. Only 2 days separate Halo fans from experiencing the next big project in this sci-fi universe through Paramount's live-action adaptation, but the show's executives have once again gone out of their way to forewarn people that this version of Master Chief will be different from the character they've grown to love in the video game series over the past 20 years. While Halo has so far managed to garner middling reviews from critics, almost all of them are willing to give the show a chance beyond the first 2 episodes. What concerns fans, though, is the deviations that showrunners Kyle Killen and Stephen Kane have had to make to the source material, including the controversial decision to remove Master Chief's helmet. That creative choice alone will be a tough pill to swallow for longtime fans of the series, but if you were to ask Kane why they felt it was necessary to do this, he'd probably tell you what he recently told Games Radar Jia in an interview. I think that, in many ways, when you play the game as a first-person player, you have your own vision of who Zhang is. You might think of yourself as Zhang because it's your first person, Kane said. This was a way of taking the Zhang that everyone knows from the game or other novels, in terms of everyone kind of knows who he is, and putting our take on it and sort of letting the audience get to know Zhang, as Zhang gets to know himself. I wouldn't compare the two. Let his journey to self-understanding take us along for the ride and enjoy it with him. There you have it, folks. If you really want to enjoy this upcoming outing, you should stop comparing the 2 characters from different mediums, even if they're the same person at the end of the day. Besides, Even if the live-action Master Chief was an exact replica in terms of characterization, he'd still have to be portrayed by another actor, so a bit of disparity was always going to be inevitable. You can stream Halo on Paramount Plus come March 24th. Okay, stay tuned to our channel. I'll be providing you with up-to-date reliable movie news. Enjoy!